Have you ever wondered what would happen if a series of giant city-like rovers tried to penetrate a massive fortress wall defended by mercenaries? Well, you're in the right place. In today's final server event, all the cities, all the nomads are teaming up together to try and break through this giant wall defended by our admin team and our deadly mercenaries. Will they succeed? Well, let's find out. So let's go over what we've got showing up here. We've got 5 or 6 large city type rovers. We've got a handful of nomads. Now the nomads can have flyers, so they're going to be an invaluable asset against the various different mercenary zeppelins, as well as the wall defenses that can't quite be cracked by the city's heavy firepower. On the other hand, the cities are going to have to soak up one hell of a battering from the zeppelins, from the turrets, from the towers, and also be able to deliver an absolute walloping to break through that wall. So these players have really got a big challenge on their hands today. On top of that, Conrad has been a very sneaky admin and he's hidden some mines on the approach to this wall. He's also put out some tank traps and other spike designs to really cause some mayhem. So leading the charge, it looks like we've got Rome here at the front, as well as Shay's Organic City. In the background, we've got one of the other cities that I didn't quite show you in the server tour, as I don't think it was finished. We've got Fotted bringing up the rear here with his very advanced city with market stalls, observatories, sort of food growth areas. There is so many cool things going on there. We even got a mech in the sky as well, providing support to the advancing cities. Another really cool nomad design, trying to snipe down the top of that mercenary zeppelin. Of course, in the skies as well, we've got another nomad. We've got Thrax in the cool little fighter there, trying to intercept a few of them zeppelins before they damage the cities. Now, the cities do have a limited range. You can see there is many of the occupants on board. Well, there's one of them here, keeping an eye on the turrets, keeping things repaired, and continuing to advance onward. So it's really nice when you see the players running around the grids and building up. Thrax there is chasing one of them nomad grids into the ground. Very, very nice indeed. The cities are slowly crawling forward. Railguns and missiles are spewing from the mercenary zeppelins. Some heavy hits there. That one is going to be going down extremely shortly. Our mercenary pilots are doing our best, but with so much firepower in each one of these cities, it is difficult to intercept them. We've even got some of the drones that have been launched from the cities themselves, and they are intercepting the hostile mercenary zeppelins. Now, as we approach that wall and get a little bit closer, we're starting to get into range of the wall's defensive systems, and Conrad is quite spicy on this wall's defense. We've got we've got quad barrel railguns in some areas. We've also got these double barrel railguns in this section, and we've got quad flat gun turrets, and everything is opening fire on some of these ships. This is one of the drone grids that the city's launched ahead, and you can see the minefield down there as well. Let's just hope the players can see it. We've got wrecked mercenary zeppelins. We've got a battle in the sky above. Thrax is absolutely thrashing this mercenary zeppelin, been railgun and exploded into pieces. The cities are still slow on the advance, and we've got to expect this. I'm going to do a few speed up clips here to show you how the cities are slowly wearing away the defenses over time. We've got more of the quad barrel cannons firing from this valley up here, and the railgun turrets are still not quite locking on. So as the players progress, you'll notice that they're using a lot of long-range firepower to try and snipe out turrets, and this is a very valid tactic. It just doesn't look super exciting. Coming in from the sky, you can see more mercenary blimps coming down and trying to do some damage. A railgun duel has broken out between a large railgun turret up on the hill here and one of the railguns mounted on the turret of Rome there. There's a good exchange of fire, but not too much damage to either turret has happened. Some big hits from the railgun towards the front of Rome here, but nothing critical. A wheel has been blown off Rome. I saw rolling this past. This is a really cool clip. I love it when a wheel gets blown off, doesn't everyone? We've got Washington now getting a bit further stuck into the fight. They've not got too much long-range firepower there. The wheel's still drifting off towards the wall. That's going to be the first one over the minefield at this rate. Rome is still trying to get some precision shots on that railgun turret. They don't want to close in. They don't want to get blasted to pieces by all the defenses that we've set up in this area. And notice how they're advancing in a sort of line formation here. So they're spreading out the damage from the wall's defense. This is a really smart play by the players here. Instead of one person going first and trying to soak up all the damage, they're spreading the damage between their grids. And this is going to give them better survivability throughout this scenario. Now, as they get a little bit closer, and you can see their time is speeding forward, you've got the odd player who's getting a little bit eager, getting further forward there. We've got Shay who's trying to push the turrets. The railgun turret on the left is taking an absolute hammering, but somehow surviving. Mercenary Zeppelins are massing behind the wall, ready to strike over in a pack. The players are doing everything they can to break this wall down, and you can see they form quite a nice tight formation and are fending off the mercenary Zeppelins almost like flies buzzing around them. It's lovely to see a battle like this in Space Engineers happen, especially a ground battle. We see so many space battles, but seeing rovers move back and forth, especially rovers shaped like cities, battling it out against a giant wall, this is bringing that movie almost to life. Crippled Zeppelins damage there, Shay's grid's advancing, railgun turret still looks like it's operational engaging, as well as the rear turret. We've got a big X marked on the wall as well for the players to target. Railguns on top of the wall are now fully operational, and they look like they're targeting towards Washington. A few of them Zeppelins going down. We're sending more and more mercenary Zeppelins over this wall to try and stop them players, and it looks like Washington is advancing or creeping slightly further forward than the rest of the pack of cities. Now this could be an advantage because it looks like a lot of the firepower on the wall has stopped. We've got our mercenaries running to the ammo banks here, replenishing supplies, rebuilding and creating ammunition as fast as we can, but the amount of ammunition that these cities are absorbing is just it's massive. And remember, I've sped up the footage here as well, because Space Engineers, when a massive battle happens like this, the sim speed does drop down, so things do happen in almost like a slow motion. Some of their mercenary Zeppelins have just resulted to ramming right into Shay's grid there, but Shay's not very happy about that. Now you can see as the grids are advancing and then they're pulling back, firing a little bit more. Washington has put their foot to the floor and they are approachingly dangerously close to that minefield. Now with the sim speed, this might mean the mines might not go off straight away, but if there's enough mines underneath that city, that whole city could literally combust. So they need to be very careful here, and it looks like the mines have begun to trigger. You can just imagine the click as they go over each one of them wheels, and the timer sets off within their mines below. Not a situation I want to be on. And you can see Washington is now taking the brunt of the wall's firepower straight into them reinforced side sort of pillars that we discussed in the server tour. If this city can actually take this damage, that's going to be another case. I think it's going to be able to. Then blast door reinforcements on either one of them pontoons. I really seem to just be absorbing shot after shot. We'll just have to see how squishy that central piece is. But their mines are about to explode any moment, and that city of Washington has been absolutely vaporized. All there's left is a wheel. That's all that happened. A split second, a split frame, and the grid was gone. The wall's still engaging with its railgun. Shay is now taking the brunt of the hit. Railgun turret looks still operational but damaged. Rome to the left and additional cities on the left of that, as well as Spotted City bringing up the rear. There's still a lot of firepower coming from that wall, but their cities now need to empty whatever cannons they have remaining, any missile launchers into that X, and with a bit of assistance we should be able to blow a nice hole in that wall. This whole wall is armed with explosives just in case anything tries to break through it, so if they can detonate them explosives somehow, maybe they can breach through a little bit faster. But for the moment, it looks like Rome is going for a ram, and against such a reinforced wall with little batons of blast door in front of it, I don't think it's going to make too much damage. It's literally going to scratch the paint, if that. Yes, they've literally tickled the wall with Rome's ram there. They need more momentum, more speed, and maybe it could have caused some damage. They have detonated some of the warheads in the front area of the wall, but it's caused only a tiny crack to occur. Maybe if they can cause some more damage throughout the wall, it will cause it to collapse. Now, as we're watching this, you'll notice that I have sped up the time here once again, because the mercenary grids were going absolutely ham trying to engage. The wall was trying to shoot. The players were trying to engage and spread their fire across the wall. And with Space Engineers, this was a very time-consuming battle. The fight for each of these players to keep their grids operational and maintained throughout this battle was extremely exciting. You can see Thrax there drifting in, trying to keep the top of these city grids covered from them flyers. Now more and more of the cities are piling into this hole and trying to spread their fire to cause this wall to collapse. And if they keep this up, this wall will come down. But I'm afraid to say, our head admin Conrad has got a nasty surprise. There might be more than one wall this time, and I think this is a naughty plan, having a second wall behind a wall. Some big damage going there to Rome. Rome is really getting focused, even with the covering fire of all the other rovers and our flyers. Rome is getting absolutely hammered. It's also blocking some of the fire from being able to hit the wall. The players need to get through here, or they're going to get bogged down and destroyed, picked off one by one in this sort of choke point. But it looks like they have got a good amount of damage, and players have infiltrated the wall and started placing explosives. 1, 2, 3, and it looks like we've got a big blast occurring. So an even bigger blast has blown more of that wall apart. And there we go, they have disabled it. Of course, our admins have to step in at a certain point, because Space Engineers doesn't always like to destroy things, but the players worked hard enough on that wall, creating enough of a hole for us to delete that first piece. Now there is a second gate. Now this gate is designed to fall down if the players attack it the right way, but they are trapped once again now in our sort of murder pit. That sounds awful, doesn't it? We've got grids dropping from above, we've got warheads being tossed off, artillery fire descending down below. This is an absolute murder hole. There is so much destruction and carnage going down. There is parts blocking the way. There is rovers breaking down in front of the other rovers. You can see we've teleported Washington back in because we thought it was a bit horrible being destroyed by the mines like so, especially when it glitched out and lagged out. Now there we have Washington bringing up the rear, but still Rome is taking the brunt of this. You can see the seal around the edge of that gate, just not budging. Keep hitting that gate time and time and time with them artilleries, with them missiles, and perhaps it will come down. There is so many mercenaries swarming above now, as well as the turrets that are descending even more Gatling gun and autocannon fire from above. It looks like the Nomads are still holding on to what ships they have left. They're really quite a skeleton crew, the Nomads and them flyers above. They're fending off them flyers one by one, and some of the flyers are just ramming straight into the cities to try and survive. Yeah, it's not looking good for the players here, but they are doing significant damage to that second wall. The turrets are all smoking. You can see them burning up on the side of the wall there. Only a few of them returning fire. So it won't take too much now for them to break down this next wall. They just need to try and space themselves out and aim for the hinges of this door. If them hinges blow and this second door is down, and then they can proceed through to the promised land. There's always something greener on the next valley, isn't there? But there's going to be more resources, more fuel, and these lovely cities can survive there in peace. And it looks like there it is. The hinges have broken on the door. There we go. The rovers are going to make it through, and they have completed this event. This was a very, very deadly event. Lots of rovers were harmed in the making this. Lots of nomad groups were damaged, and the wall was absolutely battered. Having an event on this scale and a community who can partake in stuff like this is amazing. So I want to thank everyone who came to this event, who got stuck in. I'd like to thank our admin team for getting these things built and also fighting off these players, giving them a real good challenge, and all the mercenaries who came along to assist us as well. And there's the gates down, and the event is over. What a fantastic season. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. Let us know which grids you thought did the most damage in this scenario, and if you were going to run a Mortal Engines season, what would you do?